Alright. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? We are back with another live. Told y'all every Sunday I'm going to start being super consistent. We're coming on live. It's gonna be like every Sunday is gonna be like my free giveaway for y'all to give y'all basically like some setups that I'm gonna be looking for the week. My overall analysis of what I'm expecting the market to do. Right, like the full nine. Let me get this set up over here for a quick second. And then we're gonna get right into it. Be perfect. It should be a pretty smooth week though. Like I'm very excited for this week. We got a lot of we have a lot of setups coming. A lot of opportunity. Last week was pretty smooth. I'm expecting like a similar setups this week as well. Sure, for sure. All right. It's good there, and then voila. I couldn't have asked last week to play out any more perfect than it did though. New higher highs on Nas. US30 taking off for highs. The only thing I was sick about US30 was that we didn't catch that fire by on Thursday. But besides that, the markets played out. Literally, it gave us everything that we wanted to see on the charts. Everything. Like I can't even be mad about it. Yeah. Perfect. All right, let's get into it. Actually, let me make sure I have this up over here as well, so that way I can read the chat while I'm actually breaking down these setups. Oops. And of course, actually, I don't even know why I did that review. All right, first, actually, before I even get into the charts, let's come over here and just talk about the news and everything that's getting ready to drop. So we got kind of like a light week per se, is what I like to call it on the charts, because it's not really too much going on for real, as you can see, until Wednesday. Wednesday is really Tuesday too, technically, but Wednesday is for real like the big day, because it's actually the federal funds rates. This is actually like when we have a lot of data coming into the markets is going to make the market move. Now, how I always approach the market, like when I look at this, is always pay attention to where we are on the markets at the time of these big old news events. So last week we had CPI news, we had PPI news that dropped on the charts. And then where were we on the charts? We were at key. I'm gonna say if it pop up, I can show you. We were at key resistance levels, right? We were at key higher low levels over here on NAS. On US 30, same thing. Like last week, we were at key higher low levels, going to retest main highs. And then here we are seeing, if I zoom out, if you're a beginner and you're watching this for the first time, we're at all-time highs, right? US 30 high was at 45,000. Over this past week, we saw US 30 climb to 46,000 and went to go make new highs, right? So like whenever there are big news that's coming out, like federal fund rates, CPI, PPI, NFP weeks like flash manufacturing PMI, like all these different news is coming out within these next couple of weeks of September, like it's like prime time to trade because it's like where it's always, it just so happened that the market is always at some form of a key level, or we're at some major higher low, or we're at some major high that's going on the charts. So how I always approach it on the charts is like my thought process is, okay, excuse me, okay, where am I at? Where do I expect the market to come to? I come to my higher time frames and I'm looking at my key levels. And I already told y'all how the fibs work. So when I think about my fibs, I'm paying attention to where are the main supports, structures. As you can see, as of right now, we are in an uptrend. So for me, I'm going to look at this week to start off. I got two areas of interest that I'm looking for. We're looking for either if US 30 decides to close back under 45,765, this is the price action I want to see. I want to see some form of a sell-off. Right? I'm going to be looking for some form of a sell-off, create a lower high, and then we're going to look for continuations to the downside back to these key fib levels. Right? If I wasn't using my fibs, it'd still be the same approach. But my thought process would be, this is a previous higher low structure right here. This is a previous higher low structure right here. And the reason how I know that these are higher low structures or like key areas that I want to look for on the charts is because when we come to the lower time frame, I always mark up where are the areas that we saw as key supports levels from the previous week. So as you can see, on Wednesday, this was a lot of consolidation area off of this price. So this is a key support structure to me right here. On Monday, this was Monday's main low. So this is the other level, which is why I have my support lines right here. And then as you can see here, what happened to US 30 when it came to touch 45,000, aka the previous highest point of the market? It bounced off and made a new support, right? So as we go into trading this week, I'm looking for two things. If US 30 closes back under this price, then we can look for sell-offs back to these previous support structures, right? But if US 30 respects this zone, so like I said, this is the previous zone structure that it broke out of, right? If US 30 respects this zone, then we're going to be looking for the continuation of the uptrend, right? We're gonna anticipate this being a retest. Hold on. And that 4-hour look promising for that sell-off, I'm not gonna lie. So it should be some form of retest back to the support. And then we should be seeing US 30 start to slowly make higher lows. Slowly start showing us that the trend is continuing for the uptrend. Right? It should be something like this going on the charts. Boom. But hear me when I say this. My theory for tonight, like what I'm expecting to happen, is during London session, Monday night London session, there's always like, well, Monday morning London session, there's always like a, for some reason, London session always go crazy and the market always take off. The move I always look for in the past during New York has now become the new London session move. So with that being said, it has till probably like 11 o'clock tonight. I want to see it retest the support structure. But depending on how this 4-hour closes, I am going to be expecting the sell-offs on US 30. That's going to be my bias. And it will be a smart bias as of right now, because as you can see, what was the trend from Thursday to Friday? This is the current highest point. US 30 went to go create another lower high, right? And then at the time when it went to go create another lower low, this pullback happened, created another lower high. Then there was a breakout. Then it pulled back again, created another lower high. Then there's another continuation for the downtrend. So as you can see, as of right now, we're in the downtrend market on US 30. We had our beautiful buys. Now we're seeing US 30 make its full retest back to this area. And then we're going to find out what type of markets we're about to get into. right? So that's kind of like my main overall analysis of what I'm thinking and what I'm looking for. So like I don't know if it's gonna happen Monday, it can happen Tuesday, it can happen Wednesday. I just know about the federal funds rates. I would not be surprised if we see US 30 climbing at 45,500, or if it decides to consolidate Monday and Tuesday, whatever that looks like, and then we're seeing the market retest at all-time highs again. This area can play as a key sell-off, or this area will play as a key buy area that we can look for the buys on the charts. Does that make sense? Give me like a 1 in the chat, or let me know. Sure, I'm keeping up with y'all, engaging y'all in it. I don't want to just be rambling. But that's like my main 2 bias that I'm looking for. So either we're gonna get lower highs creating lower lows and then continue with the downtrend, or we're gonna get this area getting respected, and then we're gonna be looking for buy opportunities back to the upside for US 30. I'm thinking everybody good. Nobody's saying nothing yet. All right, next up, NAS 100. My second favorite pair to trade. For me, I've been having fun lately. I haven't even been talking about it too much. Somewhat on Instagram, I've been talking about it a little bit, but I've been having fun with trading this pair during Tokyo session. Like it's been pretty smooth trading during Tokyo, trading it during London. I've actually been enjoying it. Like it's similar to how I used to trade it in the past. For my older academy members, y'all remember the strategy I used to teach y'all with trading it within this range. Once we find our highs, once we find our lows during Tokyo, and just trading within that is literally the same as that strategy. Now I'm just personally actually taking advantage of it and scalping it more. Just because it's clean. I'm like, why not? Why not? So tonight, well, actually, let me do overall analysis, and then we can talk about what I'm looking for tonight. So as of now, we're at all-time highs. Same scenario, right? So NAS 100 broke through on Friday, went for all-time highs. I was blessed to be able to take a buy entry off of here and just move my trailing stop loss and profit. And I was able to hold my trade for another 120-point move for NAS 100. As you can see here, this yellow line represents where my TP was at, and then the stop loss at the time was where my trailing was at on the charts. Now, as we look into what we're looking for today, right? As we look for what we look for today, I want us to focus on the same thing. Where is our key levels at? So this was the last previous zone that NAS 100 decided to break out of, right? Since this was the last previous zone, 1 or 2 things are going to happen this week. We're going to see a sell-off, full retest back to the zone. It's either going to retest the top of the zone, or it's going to come back into this choppiness, and we're not going to touch it unless we're entering at the bottom for the buys, right? I'm not going to be interested in selling right here. I'm not going to be interested in selling off a breakout. I'm going to be waiting for some form of a lower high to form in order for me to take sales on NAS 100 if I'm entering like this late. So for my people that's in the live trading sessions with me when we go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays, for us, we might be on the call and we might be taking sales at the top of the zone here. We might be taking sales somewhere. Actually, it's funny. This might end up being the area that we might look to take sales up back to these structures. But as it comes back into this zone, as it comes back into this this higher low, this will end up being like a buy area that we can look for. So I don't know if this is gonna happen Monday or Tuesday, but once again, by Wednesday, when this federal funds rate news drop out, do not be surprised if we see some type of crazy buy momentum move. So let's say, for example, Monday and Tuesday we have sell-offs. By Wednesday, this is actually so perfect. I'm about to paint a picture for y'all, and if I'm right, I'm gonna drop my water bottle. If I'm right, we're gonna come back to this live, and I'm gonna like, this is gonna be hilarious because this is how much I be studying the pair. So this is what one scenario that what can happen on the charts. So today is Sunday. So Sunday, boom, the market's consolidating right now. We might see 2 things happen. It's either going to retest this high, boom, retest the high. After retest the high, it starts selling off from Monday, and it gives us a retest back to here. It creates a pullback on Tuesday. It doesn't come forward, retest up here, it just creates another lower high, and then it tanks, right? And it gets close to here, but it's not ready to buy yet, but it's gonna look like it's ready to buy. And I'm saying that for a reason. Wednesday is gonna come. The market is gonna be moving slow. News is gonna release. Let's say Wednesday you're trading, opening bell, opening session. News is gonna come out till 2 o'clock. Opening bell, opening session. Nas is taking off for buys, making you think, oh, the Longs is here to stay. It's done retesting. It's about to take off. 2 o'clock news is going to come out. FOMC. Federal Fund Rate is going to drop. It's going to cause Nas to come here. It's going to sell off like crazy. It's going to wick this price at 23,980 or 990 area, somewhere in this range. I don't gotta be correct about the price. The price doesn't matter. But if it come back into this zone, it's going to wick this area, and then we should be seeing this. It's going to wick, close. There might be a retest, of course, because obviously it's chop zone right now. And then we might see something like this breakout. And then you can start seeing like the trend, the pattern of the trend starting to change. And then it just continues to go for higher highs and higher lows. So this is my theory. This is the thought process that we're going to see if this is how the market play out. I want to see if I can give y'all a scenario. I haven't really like actually trained with y'all on like back test for which I'm showing you like an example of what I'm talking about. Honestly, this is hilarious though. So look at this pattern over here. So here is sell off, downtrend, fake buy push, one last extension, double bottom, take off, right? So imagine that setup right there. And then let's look to the left right here. What do we have? Retest back to resistance structure, downtrend, lower high, pulls back, lower high, extension. I'm not about to keep doing the arrows, but y'all get the picture, right? So it continues to create lower highs. Boom. This is the last one I do. What happened? Extension. This is exactly what I just said to the right. I promise you I didn't even look back, but this is the pattern. This is the shape that constantly happens on this pair. It goes extension. It hits a key support structure. After it hits key support, now we're seeing it bounces off support. Boom. What's starting to happen? It breaks back above. It starts to create that higher low. That is crazy. That is crazy. That I literally went. I didn't even go that far back on the charts, and I'm already showing y'all exactly the same exact scenario of what I was just talking about. What I'm expecting to happen this week. So look, like this over here to the right is the same exact thing that we're seeing right here. Is the same exact thing that was like identical. The only thing is it was just pulling back more over here to the left. But this is the same exact market structure that I'm looking to see on the charts, like to a T. And the reason why I was able to talk it out like that, because I'm like, bro, I've been on both sides of it. Like I've taken losses on trades. Like I'm not ashamed to say that. Like I've taken losses on trades back in the day to where like this setup right here, I would catch this amazing buy. I would have a type stop loss, and all of a sudden there was a news that came out and it tank. And then I'm like, dang, like my stop loss got hit, or y'all know news with liquidity, sometimes it might make you lose on a trade instead of winning because of how the volume works at the time. But this trade right here, I mean, this position right here, I used to see like, dang, like this was just a pullback. Like this was a nice buy, scalp for 1,500, 2,000 pips, how many pips it was. But the real move was the sales. And then I would come back later on in the day and I would see like it gave me the buy move that I wanted. But the market wanted to come back to like a more cleaner area, like a more main support structure before it actually played out for the move that I wanted. So here I am now on YouTube giving y'all this. So I'm giving y'all this game for it, but here I am on YouTube giving y'all the same game. And it's funny, like I love going live on YouTube now. And like I do these trainings for y'all because I know somebody that's watching my YouTube video is actually gonna take advantage of this. And then it's funny because like I can give out this much game because at the same way as somebody that's taking advantage of this is another person that's probably watching this live right now or watching this video in the recap while they're rewatching it and they don't even have a clue to what I'm really saying right now. Or they're not even gonna take advantage of what I'm really showing them right now. The whole time I'm really the sauce that y'all getting right here, like but like I'm literally calling it out to a T. Like how many times have you entered sales here and then they pull back and took you out of a trade? Or like let's say you're doing a combine. How many times have you entered a trade and on the combine you hit your stop loss and then next thing you know the move was correct. The overall analysis that you wanted was correct. Right? So I'm here today showing y'all now like, okay, this is what I want you to wait for. Wait for these pullbacks. Wait for these market structures. Wait for these change of directions to show you when it's time to go bullish. When is it time to stay in a bearish market? Right? And it does it over and over and over again, right? So here, another example, buys sold off. These wicks are higher lows on the lower time frames. And then market structure changed. And then now we're seeing higher lows and buys forming and taking off for the buy. Like, I can do this all day, but we're not gonna do all that. The last setup, I was gonna give you some sauce on Germany 40, but I'm gonna wait one more week before I start calling trades over there. But I know there's a lot of you that trade gold, so I'm gonna give y'all my 2 cents on what I think gold is gonna be doing on the charts as well. So overall, gold is at all-time highs, right? Been going for all-time highs. The highest point was back in April. We're all the way in September, and we're at new highs, right? Went for new highs at the beginning of the month, and we haven't been back ever since, right? So what I'm expecting this week, I wouldn't be mad at seeing a sell-off here. But at the same time, I understand that. Ooh, I like how this 4-hour looking. Yeah, the sale's coming for sure. At the same time, I understand that there's a level on gold that needs to get tapped first before we even break out to 35.77. And that area is going to be here, right? And the reason why I have it right here and not here, technically this is another key price level, but I always go based off of where was the close of the candlestick. So this was the main support at the time to the left. And then when I see this candlestick right here and these candlesticks represent that these were fake breakouts. So if I go to the lower time frame, let's see. Every time it broke out of this, it came back in the zone immediately. So here, sold off, came back to the zone immediately. Retest one last time back to 36.13. I was like, okay, I'm done playing. News came out, and it immediately closed back above this zone. So we know the area between 36, like that 36.24, 36.22 area is going to be a key area. Like if me personally, if I was looking to take buys on gold, I would personally set like a buy limit somewhere in this area. Like it would probably be like around, if I'm really feeling like bottom ticking, right at 36.12 or in between like 36.20, because there's a chance that it might not even come all the way back down here ever again, right? So, but when we're looking at this on my 4-hour though, which is why I know the sales is coming, we have our highs, all-time highs has been tapped. Well, that's been created. And then now currently we have a lower high on a 4-hour time frame that's been hit. And it has failed to close higher than its price. So that lets us know that we're starting to get into a downtrend type of session that's going on in the charts. So as it's selling off right now, yes, it's coming back to a previous higher low structure right here. But Sundays are days where like I expect gold to go for like new lows and like creating new like stronger pushes. So I wouldn't be surprised tonight on gold if we get a retest back to this zone. And then from here, we will know how we respect the zone if we could take buy opportunities off of this. And if I drop my fibs from top to bottom, that's right on my 61 and right in between my 78. So this would be like a sniper area to look for buy opportunities. If it give me this setup, I'm actually gonna take some buys tonight on gold. If I can get that push here, I'm not interested in buying right here. I'm gonna literally wait until it really pushes. I'm not gonna take sales right here just in case this does plays as a higher low. I'm gonna wait and see how the market plays out and what's the stretch you're gonna be for the night. It's either we taking buys down here or I'm waiting till it comes back into this level and then I'm gonna be looking for the sell opportunities on gold over here. That's like my main overall analysis. So gold, once again, buys down here off of the zone, or we're gonna be selling at the top of the zone depending on how the market structure is looking. Now it's in US30. Want to start seeing the downtrends or a retest up to there, we're gonna look for the sales. And then obviously, if we wake up tomorrow and it starts to go for new higher highs and higher lows, then we adjust our analysis based on how the market conditions are set up. But as of right now, this is what I'm gonna be looking for. And then same thing on US30, still expecting a continuation for those sales until it shows me something else. But I would rather like for the sales on here, honestly, I wouldn't be mad if somebody even sold right here and had like a tight stop loss up here. That's not a bad trade to take. But for me, if I'm looking for buys, I'm not interested in buying US30 until it sweep this zone and gives me like a higher low. Like it would have to come in here, fake breakout, and then immediately break back outside the zone. And then this will be a buy setup that I look to take. For right now, I'm definitely still bearish on these charts. All right. This is officially my breakdown for the week. I will be updating this into my academy for all my academy students is watching. And then also over here on YouTube, you guys will have access to this video for the entire week. For For all my people that's trying to join the live trading sessions with me, obviously you have to join the academy now. But Tuesdays and Thursdays. So this Tuesday, 9:15 a.m., I will be going live, going over the charts and taking some trades with y'all. So hopefully I'll see you there. If not, I will catch y'all next week for the next live market analysis breakdown. Peace out. And enjoy y'all Sunday. I almost said Friday. I'm excited. This week gonna be so fire, bro. I hope y'all ready.